The first image here is of the 1970D double die reverse. So 1970 Denver minted Roosevelt dime. You always want to look for doubling on the back of the coin on the lettering. United States of America. Look for that doubling. Now if you want to see your coins up close like this, you can get a USB coin microscope. I have them available on couchcollectibles.com. Link is in the description of every single video. Now here's an example of that 1970D with that double die reverse. See here on the coin slab, it says DDR, that is double die reverse. Now this coin is also valuable because it has a high grade of a mint state 66. Now the coin grading scale only goes up to 70, this is at a 66, so that will give it a lot of value as well. Now this dime here sold for over $130 because of the high grade and because of the doubling on the reverse. This next coin is pretty cool. It is a 1970 Denver minted dime that has an error. So the coin has been double struck with the second strike being 90% off center. So very cool type of error taking place here. This coin would probably definitely not fit in a coin roll. Well, at least not a dime coin roll, maybe a quarter coin roll. But this dime here did sell for over $75 because of that mint error. Now here's a 1972. Now this one's pretty cool. It is a 1972S. It is the proof coin with an obverse rotation. So it's been double struck with an obverse rotation. So very, very cool. If we zoom all the way in there, you can actually see the lettering going through Roosevelt's head. And then we see the design there at the bottom as well. So we see how that design has been rotated. Very awesome coin. This dime sold for over $2,000. 2,000 US dollars. Now for a 1971 high grade, again, the only reason that this coin is valuable is because of its high grade of a mint state 67. Now this coin here sold for over $990, so nearly a $1,000 dime. But keep in mind, if you have a 1970s, 1971, 72, whatever it is, Roosevelt dime, and you think it's valuable, well, what's going to make it valuable is the high grade and if it has any types of errors. Now if it's all scratched up and dinged up and circulated, doesn't have any types of errors, it's only going to be worth its face value of 10 cents. So like I said, nearly a $1,000 dime. Now next up is another error coin. This is a die cap, an obverse die cap taking place on the 1973 Denver minted Roosevelt dime. So we see that there clearly in the image displayed. No design for the reverse here because of that mint error. And this coin here sold for over $500. A $500 10-cent coin. Now I've discussed this a lot. This is the 1975 proof dime, so it is missing the S mint mark. So here's an example of a proof coin up top and a business strike on the bottom. The coin on the bottom is typically the coin that you will find in your pocket change. It is not supposed to have a mint mark. The coin up top is the mirror-like finished, more detailed proof coin that is supposed to have an S mint mark. So sometimes people get these confused. You want to look for the proof coin that is missing the S mint mark, because if you do find one, they're definitely valuable. Here's an example of one with the S, and then here's the example of one without the S mint mark. Now next up is another cool coin. This dime has actually been struck on a foreign planchet, so a coin from Panama. So very, very cool. Love this coin, the coloration of it, because of being struck on a Panama coin planchet. This dime sold for over $990. So again, nearly a $1,000 Roosevelt dime. Now for the 1977 no mint mark. Now again, this one here is solely valuable because it has the high grade of a mint state 67. That's what gives it all of its value. This dime sold for a little over $50. So not bad. A dime and 50 bucks, I'll take it. Now next up is a 1978 Roosevelt dime that was struck on a 1978 Dominican Republic 10-cent coin. So here's an example of what the coin looks like that the dime, the Roosevelt dime, was actually struck on. You see that from the Dominican Republic. So about the same size coin here. Now this error coin here, you can actually see the design on Roosevelt's head there. So that is very cool. You see the shield from the reverse of the Dominican Republic coin. So very cool. And this error coin here sold for over $4,000. 4,000 US dollars. Now check out these other dimes that are worth money that you should always be on the lookout for. First up is a 1964 Roosevelt dime. Now this is a silver dime, of course, and it was actually struck on a defective Planchet. So it only weighs 2.2 grams. You can see that error taking place clearly at the top of the coin there. Now someone may come across something like this and think that someone did it on purpose, that it's damaged. However, it is a mint error, and that's why this dime sold for over $300. Moving on to a 1973 Roosevelt dime. This has an obverse die cap. So we see that taking place most noticeably on the front right side of the coin there, on the obverse of the coin, and then over on the reverse you can see that taking place as well, where there is no reverse design on this dime. Now because of this mint error, this Roosevelt dime sold for over $545. Next up is a 1991 dime that looks like it may be damaged as well. However, it is overstruck on a 1990 Roosevelt dime. So that's pretty cool. You got 2 years of dimes here. You can see this error taking place on this dime, both on the reverse and the obverse of the coin. And this coin sold for over $4,600. $4,600 for this dime. Next up is one of my favorite Mercury dime error coins out there. It's the 1942 Mercury dime, where the 2 is overlapping a 1. So it's like a 1941 underneath it and a 1942 where the 2 is overlapping the 1. You can see that on the date there, and that's why this Mercury dime sold for over $380. Next up is a really interesting type of error. This is called a mirror blockage. This is actually on a 2012 Roosevelt dime. And you can see that error taking place in the images displayed. You can see Roosevelt's head is backwards there, hence mirror blockage there. And then you see that error taking place on the reverse as well. Now this dime here sold for over $560. Just to hop back over to another Mercury dime, this is a 1944 where the obverse has been struck through some type of scrap. So in the process of minting this coin, a piece of scrap got in the way and was struck through this coin as it was being produced, and that's why this Mercury dime sold for a little over $100. Here's another Mercury dime. This is very cool. I would love to find something like this because it does look like someone could have possibly done something like this. It actually is a no dated because we can't see the date all the way. It's actually got some reading going there through the coin. So you can see that taking place on the right side of the Mercury dime, and that's why this dime sold for over $250. Next up is another no dated dime. However, this is a Roosevelt dime that has a major obverse die break, and you can see that both on the obverse and the reverse of the coin. So if you ever come across anything like this, this is like a major cut error is what it is. So a die break is a cud pretty much, and this has got like the whole half of the coin as a cud. So very cool. Would love to find something like this. I have found cuds in the past, not as major as this one. This one is really extreme and really awesome. This dime sold for over $920. Alright, so first up is not the lowest mintage dime. It is a 1946 S San Francisco minted Roosevelt dime. Like I said, not the lowest mintage, 27 million of these coins produced. If we look at this image here, here's an example of a 1946 S. The mint mark is going to be on the reverse at the bottom left of the torch there on the back of the coin. Now, this 1946 dime only sold for $8. So it's not extremely valuable, but it is, you know, semi-low mintage in a way. But let's move on to some more lower mintage coins. Alright, so next up is the 1949 D Denver minted dime. Kind of the same case here. There was 26 million of these coins made. And here's an example of two coins that sold on eBay. They're not graded or anything like that. It's a 1949 D and a 1949, and they sold for a little over $50. Now they are in pretty decent condition, so not too bad of condition there. $50 for those two coins. Next up is the 1949 S. Now we're getting lower mintage here. They only produced 13.5 million of these coins. So if you come across a 1949 S, definitely want to hold on to it. That way you can add it to your coin collection. Next up is a 1950 S. Now they produced over 20 million of these coins. Now keep in mind they do produce billions of these coins now, you know, nowadays. So this silver dime here isn't crazy expensive. Here's an example of a 1950S that sold for a little over $20. Moving right along to a 1954S San Francisco minted dime. They produced over 22 million of these coins. If we look at the 1955D, they only produced 13.9 million of these coins. So a lot lower mintage there for the 1955D. If we even move on to the 1955 Philadelphia minted dime, which for some reason I have the S dime on here on this image, so sorry about the wrong image there. They only produced 12.4 million of these coins. Now you guys can go to Google and just type in Roosevelt dime mintages and see what they made of each date of each mint mark. Now here's the 1955S Roosevelt dime. Of course these dimes 1964 and before for the dimes are all 90% silver. Now this 1955S, they produced over 18 million of these coins. Now here's a dime you really want to look out for. I've actually found one of these in circulation. This is a 1996 W minted dime, which means that it was produced at the West Point Mint. Now these are very hard to find because they only produced 1.4 million of these coins. If you look there above the date 1996, you can actually see the W mint mark there. So definitely an awesome coin to look out for. Here's just an example of that 1996 dime that sold for over $15. So nothing crazy, but definitely an awesome coin to add to your coin collection. Next up is the 2009 Roosevelt dime. Now these are not silver, and the reason why everyone wants to hold on to the 2009 coins, even though that they produced 96 million of the Philadelphia Mint and 49 million of the Denver Mint, is because when the government had their shutdown and stuff, they stopped producing coins for a little bit, so they produced a lot lower mintages for 2009 in comparison to other years in the 2000s. So that's why you want to hold on to the 2009s. If they're not in that great a condition, I personally wouldn't keep them, but if you come across some nice looking ones, I definitely will hold on to them. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe in the middle, check out the videos to the left of me, and until tomorrow, we'll see you all in the comment section below. This is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.